guys, I'm Dino, this is Andy, and you're watching the Hella Dope Show. Listen guys, if you like movies, TV shows, video games, and anything that has to do with nerd culture, then come join the Hella Dope Show, where nerds like us can talk about the things we love. The Hella Dope Show. Live Mas.
Stop doing that shit.
We'll work on that. Hey guys, welcome to the Hella Dope Show, where today we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Entertainment-wise, a lot of stuff that we watched, a couple things that we're kind of late on, but we really want to talk about it because, you know, we like this stuff. Mm-hmm. So Andy, what are we talking about today?
Alright, today we're going to start off with Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
And also we're going to be also discussing season 2 for Ajin on Netflix. Both of these are Netflix exclusive, right? So yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah, man, Netflix on point with their exclusives, man. I swear to God, every month they got something cool going on. But Stranger Things, man. I think a lot of people are talking about that when it got released. People are still talking about it. A lot of people love that show.
I just watched it.
And you just watched it. I watched it like a month ago. Right? You just finished it.
I just finished.
How long did it take you for you to just kind of
2 days.
go through it? 2 days? Yeah. I feel like mine was probably shorter than that.
It probably was.
Because I just binge watched the entire series. So, what is Stranger Things? Tell these people.
So Stranger Things is a 80s-esque feel for a lab experiment gone wrong.
Right.
You know, that's really what it is. You get that retro feel. You know, it's just all around sci-fi goodness.
Yeah, a lot of nostalgia too.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the biggest thing when people talk about Stranger Things. It's just like how much this show reminds you of so many other movies back in the day.
Yeah, it's just like a culmination put together, and it just looks so good.
It is, and like not only is it nostalgia, because a lot of shows do nostalgia, but not a lot of people do it right.
Yeah. That's always the biggest issue.
I feel like, especially nowadays, we live in this culture where we have just so many things that kind of remind you of a childhood, or they try to take your childhood.
Reboots. Yeah, that's what it is.
So like Ghostbusters and you know, Transformers and
like Power Rangers supposedly
Power Rangers
doesn't look that good.
Right. But like people are really cashing in on that. So like for a show to kind of do that, but do it right and do it well, and kind of put your own style into it, is really surprising.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Very appreciate
you.
You a genius. I appreciate you.
Very good. So, tell me, Andy, what worked for you in the show?
So Stranger Things, what worked for me was the storyline. You know, it didn't start off too heavy, it didn't start off too light. It was one of those things where it got you anticipating what the hell happened, you know what I mean? For those of you who've already watched it, you know what I'm talking about from episode 1. For those of you who haven't, go watch it. Guarantee you won't be disappointed. Unless you're a pansy and just don't like good shows, just go do something else. Yeah. But otherwise, it drew me in right away. That's what I like, you know what I mean? If I'm watching a TV show or a movie, hit me with a punchline, hit me with something, you know what I mean? Don't just like let me guess and wait for like episode 5 and then that's where it picks up.
No, I mean the first 20 minutes of that show is like really gets you, like introduces
20
you to the
minutes?
character.
First like 5 minutes, bro.
Well, like when the kid goes missing, that's pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been a while since I watched it. So like the first 5-10 minutes, it just like picks up.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. You're trying to find this kid. You know what I mean? So like I felt like what worked for me was definitely the chemistry between the kids, because a lot of these movies and TV shows nowadays, they have these kids but they never feel authentic to me.
Yeah, and they don't have that lead like structure.
No,
that's
they don't.
the biggest issue.
And they don't have the chemistry, but like these kids, man, they work so well together. They feel like they remind me of how I was when I was a kid. You know, always, you know,
or how you wanted to be as a kid.
No, like how I was as a kid, just
I
talking.
was never like that. My parents never let me out the house.
No, man, I was always out the house, man. I was always and like talking shit with your friend and playing together and doing this stuff. Like that's, I guess that's what really like kind of got me into the show, was just how well these kids felt right, you know what I mean? These kids felt like kids, and especially for this show, which is really just about these kids trying to find out what happened. They really did a great job.
Yeah. So
like for me, that's kind of that's what worked for me. What didn't work for you?
What didn't work was just the fact that I can't say much, actually. I gotta be honest, not much that didn't work, because everything was later explained, or at least given detail. I guess what I really didn't like was the lack of additional side characters. I mean, you know, there was the one character, Barbara.
Hey, guys. What the f***? You forget about something? You forget about old Barb? Nancy's friend? Sitting on the diving board? Trapped in the upside down for the past 2 months?
All right, Barb.
Right.
You know what I mean? They only gave her like a short little bit. And I kind of wish they.
But she blew up though, like
but
on Facebook,
yeah, all the memes and everything. But I wish they gave more detail to those type of characters. You know what I mean? And I forgot her name, but then the boyfriend and everything like that too. Steve, right? The douchebag.
Yeah.
And then he turns like completely 180 and he's like super cool, and it's just like, you know, what's his backstory too? You know, we understand that he's like the super cool kid, but what's more to him?
I mean, I guess they could have fleshed out some of these characters, but I think even what they do is like they take some of these like 80s, like even these old school tropes, like, oh, you have the douchebag boyfriend that's probably gonna be a douchebag for the entire show, and then he just kind of goes 180.
Yeah. All these token characters.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that really didn't work for me was the mom. I didn't really like the mom.
But you think she was like a little too much?
She was a little, I guess, over exaggerated.
Out of 100 times, kid goes missing, the kid is with a parent or a relative.
What about the other time?
What?
You said 99 out of 100. What about the other time? The one!
But if you kind of thought about it, I mean, that's what a mom would do, you know what I mean?
I get that part, but I feel like, again, I don't really have a problem with the actress. Like, I think she did a fine job.
Yeah.
I just felt like the writer, or how she was written, was kind of over the top, because she's trying to find that kid, but she's like acting a certain way, and you feel like for a mother trying to grieve, you know, and knows that her child's alive, she wants to play a little more cool and close to her chest, but she's just kind of going out there being all crazy, and nobody took her serious, and that kind of didn't work for me. It made no sense, because she's trying to make all these people believe her, but she's acting in a way that nobody would believe her.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but for me personally, I liked her character. It worked really well.
Okay. Yeah, so we talked about like nostalgia for the show, like a couple of things that it reminded me of, and I'm gonna get to that. But what did it remind you of, like watching the show? Any inspirations that you saw in the show?
Yeah, so Stranger Things, I mean, already you got that retro feel, you know what I mean? What it reminded me of all the, you know, old school movies, sci-fi, and all this stuff put together in one TV show that you always wanted, you know? Put together perfectly.
Right.
That's what it was for me.
I mean, just watching, even the opening scene, which I really loved, and I'm not like a lot of people love E.T. I'm not one of those people.
I hate E.T.
I'm not a big fan of E.T.
Creepy.
But like just watching that show, the opening episode where it's like the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons and interacting, that's straight from E.T. And even like the part where he's like running to the shed, that's from E.T. And there's like later on when they're on the bikes and they're chasing away with 11 on the back, that's from E.T. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of reminds me, like, I think it does E.T. better than E.T. does, you know what I mean? I enjoy this a lot more. And like I think is another inspiration with like these kids trying to run away from these monsters and trying to figure out what
Yeah, I never thought about that actually.
Yeah, so that's a big one. Stand By Me. I don't know if you watched that movie.
Yeah, I did.
It's like 4 kids. It's
And in class.
a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Classic.
And it's just like these 4 kids on an adventure trying to find out, like, well, in that case, they're trying to find a body. In this case, they're trying to find their friend. But like just watching the show and just seeing how much other inspirations they have in this show, and not only do they have the nostalgia, not only do they have all these moments, but I think a lot of times they do it better than some of these movies do. So like just watching that.
Yeah, like Stranger Things like totally won up like all these like older like films and everything like that. And they even say that in the little synopsis before you like start watching, you know, Stranger Things. They have a little bio as well where it talks about the creators and how they were influenced by all this other stuff to, you know, want to produce this.
No, and you see that like opening scene. That's what you see, the inspiration. You see their childhood in the show, you know what I mean? And it's so great. And like I said earlier, man, you have all these movies coming out and all these TV shows that try to kind of take your childhood and just like ruin it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously we talk about nostalgia, but like what stood out, like watching the show, what's the thing kind of take away kind of that's gonna like keep you thinking about the show?
Well, what stood out to you the most? Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around what was really memorable for me.
Right. I mean, like I said earlier about the chemistry between the kids, I felt like that was fantastic. And like I said earlier, it's like getting that chemistry is I think the hardest part with any show. And then I really enjoyed, like, you got the chief was trying to find this kid at the beginning. Like he just thinks like he ran away, he'll be back.
Yeah.
And then like,
typical runaway situation.
Exactly. And as the show keeps going, he gets more involved, and he's trying to figure out like what really is going on. And then you find out later in the show, with flashbacks, that he actually does have some kind of investment that happened like back in his, that happened in the past that he's trying to kind of make up for.
Marriage, yeah.
Exactly. So I really enjoy that. Like a lot of stuff stood out, man, and it's really just all this stuff, all this nostalgia, all these little pieces that kind of came together when you really wouldn't expect these pieces to come together the way they did, but like just seeing everything kind of, you know,
blending in so well.
Yeah.
That's how I feel too, because like I can't choose one scene because everything was really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't watched a really good TV show in a long time, and this one really takes the cake because it's a posh of everything that you really like as a kid, you know what I mean, or expected to be as a kid, put into one show. So it's really tough to say what one thing that I really like, because you had a monster, you had a dark realm, you had mystery, you had suspense, you know, you had all these things playing up to what you really wanted to see in the TV show. And, you know, back with the whole situation with, you know, figuring out with the sheriff and everything like that, what's up with him and everything, you know, that's another good thing. It just really played so well.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like everything, like even what I really like, I think what really stands out to me is how they take some of these tropes, like I said earlier, about like the asshole boyfriend or the best friend or the asshole cop that doesn't really give a shit. And then as the show progresses, like those tropes, they kind of get 180. So you have the cop that didn't give a shit, now gives a shit. You have the asshole boyfriend who's not an asshole anymore because you kind of get where he's coming from. And like that's another thing. It's like taking these stereotypical moments in these movies and just kind of turning them on their head.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, but again, like everything from the writing to the directing to even the music, which I really like.
I love the music.
Yeah, even like I guess like. The music is just so nostalgic. You said later, like it reminded you of. It
reminds me of Tron.
Right.
That's it. Honestly, like I love the Tron music. You know what I mean? It just feels good to hear that.
You could do like a side by side because like it's been a while since I saw Tron.
Well, either if you've seen the older version or the newer version, I mean, it just worked.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm sure like these guys, they took their movies that that inspired them. Like all these movies inspired them to make something like really good and something that's probably going to inspire a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's really cool to see something like that. I mean, there's really like not I don't know. Like I really like this movie. I mean,
it's all good. It's all good.
It felt like I keep saying movie, but it's not. It's a TV show. But like the
way it played, because it was long enough, so it could have been made to a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Netflix really does a fantastic job in just giving these people time and the outlet to kind of tell their story.
They're giving it justice.
Right, and I feel like it was the right length. Like I think it ended the way when it should end. Like I never felt like this is dragging on too much. Every episode had something kind of pushing the narrative forward. So like I don't know. I really enjoy that part.
Yeah, it just makes you want to see more of it.
speaking of seeing more of it, like the way it ended, which we're not gonna get into, there could be a season 2. Like, what do you think about that? Like,
I hope there's a season 2. I hope there's multiple seasons, man.
Okay. Like, I don't know, like, season 2, I think in theory would sound like a good idea. But I said earlier about how a lot of the things that shouldn't work does. Like, again, with the tropes and all these different characters interacting with each other. I feel like they juggled a lot of stuff. And somehow, the first season, they were able to juggle everything without anything kind of falling.
Yeah.
I feel like for season 2, you're going to juggle even more stuff.
Do you think it's going to slip?
And I feel like something's going to fall, something's not. So, like, I'm kind of worried about it. At the same time, I wouldn't be opposed to watching season 2.
I mean, they did leave us in, like, a giant cliffhanger.
They did leave a cliffhanger, but again, it's like one of those endings where, okay, well, as a person that watches a show, I can kind of make up my own ending. You know what I mean? I don't have to see how it ends. It's one of those, you take it or leave it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So, season 2, if it happens, I'm probably going to watch it.
Probably.
I mean, I'm going to watch it. I'm for sure going to watch it, but like...
in one day.
Right, but I am kind of like hesitant. Like, is it going to be... Can it live up to what season 1 was?
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Like, you will watch it, but concerns about everything that'll happen to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, like, if they do it, hopefully they do it justice. Hopefully it's not too crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about how it's gonna play out and everything like that, which we won't again get into too much detail. You can do your own research into it.
Again, it's on Netflix, man. Everybody and their grandmother has Netflix, man.
Or you just Google everything.
Or just you Google the episodes. But like again, the show was great. Season 1, fantastic. If there's a season 2, we're gonna watch it, obviously. But either way, it's take it or leave it with me because I did love the season 1 so much. I just don't want to see it. And that happens sometimes.
Yep, it's gonna be a hit or miss, but I mean, only time will tell.
Yeah. So yeah, Stranger Things, man. Like I said, like I think obviously we talked about it so much. You can see that we really enjoy the show. It's a thumbs up for me. Go check it.
Thumbs up.
Go check it up on Netflix. It's up there. Really nothing else we can say about it.
Yep.
So that's Stranger Things. Speaking of Stranger Things, we're gonna be talking about Ajin.
Ajin. There's different ways of pronouncing it, but then the characters, how they pronounce themselves, are Ajin.
Ajin. Which is a anime show on Netflix that Andy peeked me onto like half an hour before we shot.
Yeah.
But I was able to see like 3 episodes of it. Andy, you obviously watched the entire show.
Yep.
So tell me, man, like, what do you think about the show? Because you want to talk about season 2, right? Which is like, well,
we can discuss first though.
Okay, so like, I mean, we can only talk about the 3 episodes because I still want to watch the show. I don't want to get too like spoiler.
All right, so as far as the first 3 episodes, man, I mean, the TV show is called Ajin. I think there's only 6 episodes right now.
I think 9.
9?
Yeah.
Or 8. It's a short season right now.
Yeah.
Season 1 right now. It goes off of individuals who are able to come back to life. You know what I mean? Which are called Ajin. What Ajin stood for?
I think it's like demon or
devil or something like that.
Yeah,
Some demon or devil. That's what it stands for. And what happens is, this boy finds out that he's an Ajin, and he just pretty much loses his shit.
Yeah.
His best friend that he never hung around with for a long period of time during his childhood comes back into his life and helps him. And then, they're just trying to survive now.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why he loses his shit, I think even in the beginning, like, they make sure that the audience understands, like, in this world where there's, like, these demons and people who can't die, like, if they find out that you're a Jin, they take you, the government takes you, and they run tests on you, and they keep killing you over and over again just to see what can stop you.
Yeah.
So when this kid finds out that he's, like, this Ajin, like, he loses his shit, he doesn't know what to do, so he runs away, and this kid, like you said, who was his old childhood friend, who his mom made him stop hanging out with, which is...
Okay, so you didn't watch that part, okay.
Yeah, I'm like 3, that's like 3 episodes in. Like I got really into it. Like, I'm probably gonna watch that show when I get back too. Like, it's really good stuff. Again, like you watch more of it. Like, does it get better or does it just kind of?
It does get better, but I'll tell you this: it's not much, even a spoiler. You can already like guess that this will happen since I already said there's a season 2. Like the ending fit to become a cliffhanger, and it made you like, damn, like what's gonna happen next? You know what I mean? But it wasn't more of like a, I'm gonna lose my shit,
Okay.
this is bullshit type of.
So it's
ending.
like, okay, this is cool. I'm
Just like Stranger Things, how you said about the ending.
Right,
You know, it worked, but what's gonna happen next?
Okay.
You know,
That's cool.
So that's how it was like for me.
Yeah.
But so far 3 episodes. What did you like about it?
I liked a lot. I liked the kid. I liked the characters. I liked the friend. I feel like I'm like, okay, he's a cool guy. Like he's somebody that hasn't hung out with this guy, but again, ride or die. Like if she gets, I got your back, no matter what. The sister was kind of like a dick.
Yeah, the entire time. But then watch more of
Should she
it.
get cooler or okay?
It's like on and off. Honestly, there's no balance of her.
Okay.
But you'll see that in the later episodes.
The main character is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure he gets better as you keep watching, but as for right now, he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like for you can imagine, if you just realized that you came back to life
Right.
and you were gonna be abducted to run an experiment, you would lose your shit.
Yeah,
You would
obviously.
like go crazy and figure out what to do next. You know what I mean?
I feel like
so his character fit.
it fit, but I feel like they could have given him a little more personality because he's kind of like this blank slate. Like you don't know if you like him or not.
Okay.
I mean, you sympathize with him because he's like in this situation, but at the same time, like, do I really care what happens to you?
That'll progress.
changes? Okay.
That'll progress. You'll see that more so.
They do some flashbacks when he's a kid, which I'm thinking they're probably going to use that more.
Yeah, you'll see that more once you develop the more of the show.
Okay.
It'll make more sense. You know what I mean? Because right now, obviously, like it just clips and crap like that. But then you have to watch more of it for it to make more sense.
I mean, again, it's really anime style. Like I think it is based off of manga, right?
It was based off of manga in Japan, and it was actually adapted into an anime in Japan first before Netflix was able to get the rights to actually produce it for the U.S.
Okay, so like what we're watching right now, is that like the Japanese one, or did they just like remake the entire?
No, it's the Japanese one. It's entirely the Japanese one. Like most of the Netflix exclusive shows have already come out already, in Japan. So Japan aired it, I think, at the beginning of the year or last year or something like that. And then, the U.S. just adapted it maybe about March or something like that.
Okay.
Kind of quarter of the year, beginning quarter of the year.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it's really Japanese. Like the characters are kind of over the top.
But you'd expect from anime.
Right. You have that detective guy or who's working with the cops, the guy with the blonde hair in the limousine.
The guy in the white with the Tic Tacs?
Yeah, the Tic Tacs.
That guy's a douche.
I'm sure. He seems like a douche.
Asshole.
But he has like his own, like every character kind of has their own mannerisms. Like the guy keeps playing with his Tic Tac box. The guy keeps playing with his lip. You know what I mean? It's stuff like
his mustache.
Right. It's stuff like that I enjoy with these animes. But like it's definitely a show that I want to keep watching. I guess one of those real things, and it's weird because when I'm watching it, at times it looks beautiful, and then when you do like further back shots, like when it's like further away, and it's like people talking, you can see how it's CGI-ish.
Yeah.
And then that kind of takes me out of it for a minute because it's like this mix between hand drawn and CGI. So like I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Like the show looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but at times it's kind of like, okay, what am I watching right now?
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Like, I'll be honest, I actually did not want to watch Ajin at all. But because I've been hearing like so many of my friends talking about it and everything like that, they're just like, just try it out, take a look at it. That's when I was like, all right, fuck it, watch episode 1. And then episode 2 was when I'm like, oh shit, I gotta finish this now, And a lot of animes now are coming out with CGI compared to regular hand-drawn everything. So it pulls away, but at the same time it gives you a new aspect.
I guess I'm old school in the sense where I like hand-drawn stuff, and there's like more of details you can put into it. But I feel like Ajin does a pretty good job of kind of mixing the two in like a really cool way. But yeah, season 2 you said is coming. Do you know the date for that? Or?
They expect it to come out this year though. Hopefully around the mid-fall time period, maybe around like October, November.
Okay, cool.
That's when they're anticipating to release season 2 for Ajin. No set date though. That's the only issue. I've been doing my research for it, and that's the only things that they've been saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think it's perfect time for me to get into this show, finish it. Hopefully by the time I finish it, season 2 is out, so I can just continue watching. But like I really like the show. Like you told me about this show like today.
Yeah.
Basically. And I got 3 episodes in, and what I like, I really like.
Yeah, because you normally don't really get into anime.
Not really. I recently got into, because obviously Dragon Ball Z is a staple. Everybody's fucking seen
Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, you know, all this stuff.
I got into Naruto this year, which is Naruto, which again, like a lot of people like.
Yeah.
Like I don't see too many people recommend Naruto.
Well, I mean, if you don't watch anime like that, then you can get into it. But if you're like one of those people who are like already like super deep into like all that, like I am, then you know you'd just be like, eh.
So like I recently really started getting into it, like Full Metal Alchemist that you're repping right now.
Yeah.
I got into that one. I got into Ajin. There's another one called the Joker game.
Yeah, Joker game is pretty interesting.
So like I mean I'm slowly getting into these shows, and Ajin's, it's on my list now. I gotta finish it. Season 2 is coming.
I'll get you more.
Yeah, you make me a list, man. I'm really down for this stuff. So yeah, season 2 is coming out soon. 3 episodes, man. Thumbs up. I mean, I can't, like, I'm going to keep watching the show, but you could probably tell these people, is it something that you want to?
It's definitely something that I want to get more into. I never read the manga. I'm into all the manga, the Japanesey stuff, you know what I mean? So I enjoy all of these type of things. So I haven't read the manga just yet, but so far so good. I can expect it to be a lot of similarities to actual manga. But again, you know, once I read it, then I can really do a big comparison. And that'll probably happen maybe when season 2 actually comes out and we watch it, you know, completely. Yeah. So
nice.
You know, something nice. So far from Netflix with anime.
Yeah, man, Netflix rocking it, man.
Yeah.
So like Ajin, thumbs up. Go check it out. Highly recommend it. Okay, guys, so that's our show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give us the thumbs up button. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought about anything that we said today. And again, subscribe, man. This is your show as much as it is our show. The Hella Dope Show. Live from us.
Don't do that. Stop it. Stop.